GSL SuperTournament Season 1.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time to go to another best of 5 here. We're halfway through the evening. I gotta say, I am still processing the fact that Bunny actually went 3-2 against Rogue. I think it's a big reminder of, you know, never get too comfortable with the state of who's on top, because people are still grinding, people are still improving, people are still innovating. And one person in particular that's doing that is Bunny. I mean, if you can beat Rogue, you can pretty much beat anybody.
Yeah, I definitely don't disagree with that. So a great showing by Bunny. I'm sure Rogue will come back strong and win at least one GSL this year. But he is out of this Super Tournament. Up next, of course, the winningest GSL player ever of all time.
Right.
By far, Maru.
Yeah, Maru, another person that is always a safe bet for who's going to win any season of anything GSL related. And I think this should be much more straightforward as a series. I think Armani's good. I think Armani has improved, but I think honestly, like it's hard to imagine Armani taking 3 games off of Maru out of 5.
Maru's in very good shape right now as well. You know, leading up towards Katowice and everything, it's a great time for him to be performing, and he is. And so I think that this is, I mean, what a tough draw for Armani.
Absolutely.
Because Armani is good. He's a good player. I actually really like his play and everything. But I think that his ZVT maybe not his best matchup, and then also against the strongest Terran ever. So.
Yeah, I think he's good. I think maybe he takes a game off of Maru, maybe. But I think this could very realistically just be a 3-0.
Yeah, that's where I'm looking.
And this happens, you know, when you have a bracketed tournament like this, sometimes you're just paired with somebody and you're like, oh, okay, I'm probably not going to go anywhere in this. You know what I mean? I probably won't get to have the joy of the journey through at least part of this tournament. So I guess when you're Armani, you got to think about this like, okay, I'm going to try to bring my best. Let's see if I can bring my A game against the best Terran that there is. Right?
Yeah. I hope that he can bring his A game. I think his very best play can be interesting against Maru.
Sure.
And he comes up with some different ways of playing too. He definitely doesn't look like any other Zerg. So maybe he'll have something planned out here that can kind of trick Maru, maybe give him an edge.
Maru's hard to trick though.
He's hard to trick because he's everywhere at all times.
Yeah.
And he's perfect at everything, so it's like very tough.
Yeah. So I mean, let's see what can happen here. But I don't know, man. Like, it's going to be a tough one for sure. I feel like out of all the matches we had, this is the one that I think was most easily the most one-sided. But again, every year, you know, it's a new start. Let's see what Armani has been planning for this. You know?
Yeah. I have no doubt that he's prepped for it, and he has his ideas about what he wants to do.
Yeah. All right, let's get into this game, guys. It's game 1 in this best of 5. The winner goes on to the round of 8 of the GSL Super Tournament.
Game starts. Team NV, Maru.
Oh, that's interesting. That Terran cutout for the command center was like perfect with the ridges on the top.
Yeah.
If our observer doesn't turn the camera correctly, it'll look terrible.
Oh, that's true.
A lot of pressure on our cameraman.
Yeah.
On our observer. Same with the Zerg, little spikes coming out of that hatchery.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, when it comes to kind of bullying Zergs, Maru is pretty much better than anybody that you could ever imagine. I mean, really, if you know, you had a supercomputer perfectly splitting infantry against banelings, indistinguishable from what Maru looks like he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like he's very, very on point with that.
Oh, no doubt.
And you know, the other thing about Maru is there's been whole eras where he's like had certain play styles and then shifted out of it.
Yes,
I mean, there's this whole period where he was doing proxy raxes all the time, and then he's like, nope, we don't do that anymore.
Yeah, like I'm trying to recall, but like when he won his 4 in a row, his 4 GSLs in a row, he was like proxy happy for a whole year, where like half of his
crazy.
games plus were buildings out on the map. And then the 4th GSL he won, he didn't like proxy basically at all, and he just played like big macro games.
Yeah.
And it was like, this guy has just the entire range.
And one thing that's kind of fascinating about that is like, you know, the game itself is so competitive, right? And people are always innovating and learning. But when you can be on top like that to the point where you know you have to alter your own play style, like we've seen Flash do.
Yeah.
Where he's like understands the game on such a crazy level that he's like even able to know when it's time to like make huge meta shifts in his own play so that people can't catch up to him. And we've definitely seen that with Maru.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually that's pretty apt, that comparison, I think, in a lot of ways. Because that is one of the only other players that we've ever seen have to do stuff like that, where you're so much better than everyone. You have to like realize for yourself that your win percentage going down slightly, and then like alter to make sure it goes up again.
You have to notice the behaviors of all the other players and be like, okay, I think they're starting to catch on to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's certainly the case with Maru, which is I've always been very interested in kind of seeing. How old is Maru now? Do you know?
God,
I actually don't.
50 or 60.
50 or 60. Just wondering how far off his military time is.
Oh, I think it's still pretty far.
Because he's the youngest, I think, out of all the players, right? Or maybe actually.
I think Percival's probably younger than him.
Yeah.
But yeah, Maru was like a child when he started.
Maru was a very tiny little boy when we started casting out here.
That's pretty crazy, actually. How young. Now, when you know what I say? When Maru goes to the military tasteless, that's it. we end
StarCraft 2.
We're like, all right, guys.
We end this beautiful experiment.
Yeah.
We're like, yeah, we got it.
All right, the youngest player that was the best Terran ever is gone now, and like, by now, Innovation, TY, and beyond, all their risks have deteriorated beyond repair. Right? Like, there's really no point anymore. And Bunny's like, what about me? And we just ignore him and shut it down.
I think I finally got it. Yeah, I think I might actually be the best. It's like, yeah, sorry.
Right.
So, you know, with Armani in this game, since we've been talking about, you know, Maru so much, Armani, I think, has not really, at least in the games we've casted him in the past, and I'll try to be open-minded about how he plays here today, but he doesn't seem to have really refined his style like some of these other players. In some ways, Armani reminds me of, like, Bunny, like, 5 years ago as a Zerg. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to put that together in my head. Yeah,
well, Bunny was one of these guys that would oftentimes get eliminated. Like, he's good, but it was, you know, we never expect him to be like round of 4, and you know, he's really changed that. But I feel like Armani is still, you know, grinding.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I kind of see what you mean. I think it's slightly different just because the Zerg line in Korea is so shallow.
Sure.
Like, we used to have a very deep Zerg line here back when, you know, Soup, Yol, you know, all these other big names were still playing. But at this point, it's literally Rogue and Dark and then everybody else, which is like 5 steps below them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of get your meaning. Whereas with Bunny, it's like the Terran line has always been and will always be very deep here.
Right.
And then, of course, there's more Protosses than we need to talk about in every region. So.
Oh, looks like this Viking's actually going to get the kill on the Overlord. Nice. He'll be able to get away as well.
Oh, looks like a ranged attack here for Armani. Cool.
Yeah. And getting that Roach Warren as well. Range attack and armor coming. And here comes Maru's Liberator. It looks like the drones aren't being pulled right away. He's going to lose that. Oh, barely not lose that Queen, actually. Oh, he is. Okay.
A little bit sloppy.
Yeah, this is where I get a little bit worried, man, to be honest. You know?
Sure, yeah. It's literally a unit that Maru set up and isn't touching, and he mismicroed against it. So that's like...
And he's like tripping over himself, trying to get rid of it.
Yeah. It's, you know, like creeping stuff in Warcraft 3 or something?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's like if you mess that up, it's like,
Yeah.
You're a pro gamer. Come on.
Yeah.
You need to be able to clean that perfect.
Absolutely be like the worst nightmare. It's like you lose your hero to a creep. You're like, I just can't even play this game anymore.
Ooh.
Damn, that's a pretty crazy pin.
Yeah,
Took those
that's
Hellions
awesome.
out, no problem.
Yeah, so that's a nice moment. I guess he'll still kill all the Lings, perhaps. No, not quite. But good catch there from Armani.
Yeah, important to have a moment like that. But we're not going to have any more Hellions made here. We're switching now into full tank bio. He's going to be cranking that out. And again, we're waiting for that, you know, impending push that is going to be coming out here. And we got to see how exactly Armani deals with that. If that engagement with the Liberator, like I like the fact that you point out Artosis, he's not even really microing it, but he's still kind of messing up his control.
And then it's like...
Yeah. And then you come back later and you don't even know how many kills it necessarily had or what happened. You just kind of throw this out there and then go back in macro and then move it back because you know in that amount of time.
It's like a punching bag hitting you in the face as a boxer.
Yeah, it's like you broke your bone in your hand hitting the punching bag or something. And so as these pushes come out, we really got to see how well is Armani going to control this. We have one queen just now sniped off. More reinforcements coming in. The Lings, the Roaches, the Ravagers all coming up. Biles are shot out, and he actually, I thought he picked it up for a second. He does not pick that tank up in time.
Yeah, that's a lot of Ravagers that he's made already. A lot of Roaches being made now as well. We'll see if he tries any sort of counterattack.
Yeah.
All right, brings the Ravagers back on creep. At least he saves that fourth base. That's like really important.
Oh yeah, I mean you certainly don't want to lose your fourth base over and over and then have the game end out, right? So,
well, especially with a comp like this where you actually, like, especially need that. Yeah. This is not that cost efficient.
All right, the Roach Ravagers are now coming across the map. It's time for Maru to defend his third.
Yeah, the SCV's coming out. Let's see if he can do it. Sims forward here. And throws down the Biles, but he is not getting the connections that he is looking for. And I don't think he has enough Roaches to actually tank all that much. This looks like a hold already to me.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to do that much. Yeah. He just needs to have some tanks kind of inch a little bit closer to maybe where that depot is.
Yeah, he's trying to get value out of the Biles, and he's getting a little bit. He's getting a little bit, but the tanks are getting some great hits. You have to dive, like, if you want to hit that Liberator, you're going to be eating a bunch of tank hits and Marine hits as well, so that's a little bit difficult. Gets forward, Biles one of the tanks. SCV's coming to fight as well.
Maru punches back twice as hard. Only a couple Ravagers here. It's a couple more Roaches do come up. But, you know, he basically knew when to pull the SCVs. And I don't know that Zerg can attack in again. We have 9 more Roaches on the way here. But, you know, he kept all of his tanks alive for the most part.
Yeah, he lost, like, 1 tank during the actual assault.
He's actually going by that creep tumor. I think the Lings as well see that. So we got to see if, you know, Zerg's going to be ready to intercept this drop. He's actually putting it out over here. And it looks like this isn't going to be become anything here.
Hits himself with a bile though, so that's always nice.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like, have to point it out. Can't not. Hive and the Hydralisk Den coming up, so it does look like a transition towards lurkers, which Armani is very, very into lurkers. And he's the most aggressive lurker player I think that there is. We'll see if he continues that trend.
You know, I think Armani's doing okay, but again, this push coming out here, once you have enough tanks and enough infantry, you can actually get a pretty healthy spread.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of supply inefficiency in Roaches. They're probably the most supply inefficient unit, like them in Adepts, when you think about it, right? And
yeah,
maybe Hellbats as well, where you're just like, yeah, max out on those units and see how you do.
Yeah, and then you watch the Terran max out. It is a funny thing that can easily be overlooked is like, yeah, Roaches and Ravagers are pretty good, but they're not efficient when it comes to like how many Marines and tanks you can actually get in the long run. That's why they middle range have a time in place. Yeah.
Yeah, the middle range stuff. It's like they come, they're strong for when they're made, and then they just like peter off into nothingness.
Right.
All right, he has a lot of Lings in here right now, which is kind of interesting as well. Gets in on top of these siege tanks.
Dives in there and takes those tanks out. The other tanks are going to be coming up here, but this may create an opening now for the infantry to come in. Pretty insane Fungals here.
Yeah, those are fantastic. And get some good Biles down as well, but there's still a lot of Maru here.
There's just enough of Maru's forces there that he takes out that fourth hatch. Now there's another fourth being made that could take its place here at the bottom. The problem is that I think Maru has now started what will be a cycle, if I had to guess. It's probably coming in here, it's a back and forth, but Maru comes out on top, picks up, leaves, And while this happens, every time a base goes down, it is, a big hiccup in the income here for the Zerg. And so if this can happen a couple more times, I think it's going to be a pretty straightforward victory for Maru here. The kind of win we've seen him do so many times before in the past.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be able to grind him down eventually. Armani coming up, this creep getting cleared very quickly. Ooh, you cannot be fighting in that arc. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Very,
Tank's in a very good spot here, and this is what I was talking about. Now this base is going to go down unless we're in for some surprises here from Armani. I just don't see it happening.
Well, he has lurkers out now, so
yeah,
the bases will fall, but like we were talking about in that rogue game, you can get very efficient at this point.
You can hang on for a while. One of the other issues here is that you can't really retreat with Roach Ravager very well. Stimmed infantry are basically faster, so we see the counterattack attempted, but it's thwarted pretty quickly here from Maru. Oh wow, he's just gonna dive on it.
Oh my god, he actually gets some very good lurker spines in here. Throws down a fungal as well, and will actually take that battle pretty well. Armani running around now. You can see this kind of very aggressive style that he likes with the lurkers, running forward towards this third base. Gonna go ahead and burrow.
Yeah.
Nice yoink in on that siege tank.
Hooks that tank in and takes it out. Can he do much more than that, though? Another 2 siege tanks are going to come in here. Nice.
Yeah.
These takeouts are getting smaller and smaller.
These are good moves from Armani. You can see him really starting to fight back now.
And this tank might be just a little bit too far out. Doesn't matter. He actually just...
Dude, this is getting hairy right now for Maru, is it not?
Yeah. Well, it's one of these things like... I almost didn't believe it, but when I saw him attack into those lurkers early on, I'm like, oh, that's too many lurkers, man. You just don't want to...
Yeah, it was a bit wasteful.
Yeah, and now it seems like Armani is just kind of continuing it on. It looks like at the very end, though, this is going to be cleaned up here.
Yeah, now does Armani have a big enough economy and enough units at home to actually cover? No,
that's it.
GG's.
I think especially when the ghosts come out, he could basically then go across the map, snipe any remaining lurkers, and it's...
He had a lot of things go wrong for him, right? Like he was losing hatcheries, he wasn't taking very good engagements quite often. The actual Roach Ravager attack itself was so Ravager heavy and a little bit late, and it just didn't feel like it did quite enough. Normally if you go for one of those 1-1 timings, if you're not at least forcing them to like retreat away from the third, you haven't done it well enough. And that definitely, he did not force Maru to do much anything there.
And so now we go to game 2. The problem for Armani is, like, I don't think Maru has to do anything special in order to beat him. You know what I mean? I don't think this is about, like, coming up with a strategy that Armani didn't see coming. No. I think mechanically Maru is just so much better than Armani. And that is how many StarCraft games are won. I know it's a strategy game, but sometimes it's like, yeah, no, this guy just never misses depots. He always controls his army correctly. He doesn't make bad choices. And what are you going to do? And so we're going to be going to Glittering Ashes now for our second map. Good luck, Armani, because right now Maru is looking untouchable.
Team NV, Maru. Guangdong Freaks, Armani.
All right, so in game 2, what does Armani want to try to do? It is hard to imagine beating Maru with Roach Ravager.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Although
like,
Rogue slammed him in that one.
That was a weird finals where like Rogue was playing a certain way the whole time. Then he's like, "Have you seen this?" And like Maru was like, "I can't stop this. I don't know what to do." And
I didn't put my practice games towards that at all.
This isn't what I prepped. And then Rogue doesn't really do that anymore either. That was just one of the most bizarre finals we ever had.
Yeah, that shows how smart Rogue is. Unfortunately. Really ruined the possibly most epic finals we ever could have had. By being too smart about it. Now, I agree though.
It's like a guy goes bio his entire career and he's like, I'll just go back this finals and then never do it again.
Yeah. I think you're right though. I want to see Ling Bane. I want to see and it could be Ling Bane Hydra. Well, that's the one I least want to see because
you want Ling Bane Muta. Yeah,
Ling Bane Muta would be good, or just straight Ling Bane with the macro hatch in the main. I think both those are more reasonable against Maru.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's different ways to go them. Like some people go the more Muta heavy for the harassment stuff. I don't know if that would work against Maru, but I'm afraid of him trying things like Roach Ravager because the thing is, that's a muscle comp. And
Sure.
you can't really outmuscle Maru. Like, there's only a handful of players in the world that have any chance of doing that.
Right.
And you almost have to catch him off guard, too. Like, you can't really macro better than him.
Yeah.
Like, if he's the best at something, you don't try to outdo him in that. Right?
Yeah.
Like, and the thing is, yeah, he's probably the best in just about every category, but something like Ling Bane, you have so many more options. You can fight, you can run around. What does Roach do?
Well, I think you can also...
Roach doesn't have options.
If you get ahead, you can really leverage Ling Bane as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's say you catch 1 or 2 medevacs, it's like, oh, now we've really got the ball rolling here.
Yeah, yeah. Whereas, I mean, even if you do something with your Roach Ravager, it's still, at the end of the day, Roach Ravager.
Yeah. But let's see. I mean, you know, if you're Armani, I think whatever you think is your absolute best, you're going to bring. And that might be the place that he's in. You know, where you're running a couple different styles when you're laddering, and it's like, well, I don't know, man. Like, this might not be the best way to do it, but I do win the most with this. So maybe this is what we have to try, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. Maru, by the way, a couple games here now, going for that triple CC with the factory, which is, I always take this build to mean that you think you're better than your opponent. Because it's like safe in every direction, where it's like it kind of can hold everything and like you don't get behind really on economy. It's like the build that innovation does against everyone.
Well, I think also when you're a player like Maru, and this is like really what I'm trying to say is like if you're a championship like winner, like multi-time, you have to really think about the entire tournament, right? I mean, I think if you're a player like Armani, you're thinking about just, you know, each game at a time, right? I'm trying to just do my best here, but like with Maru, I don't think he wants to show anything crazy or creative or even new, right? Because he should just 3-0 Armani, and then he's going to have bigger fish to fry later on. Like, let's say he has to play against a Dark or somebody like that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Looks like it is going to be BC actually here as well. It's kind of cool. So triple CC battle cruiser. It is a Baneling nest, so I'm happy to see that.
Yeah.
We'll pick off this Overlord very quickly.
Yeah, Armani did this in the last game as well. Sent an Overlord in here to try to just figure out what's going on. And I don't think there's that much to see. You know, Maru's just, like I said, playing very standardly.
And here comes the BC. There it is.
And I think we're going to see a much more efficient BC game than we had here out of Bunny. Keep in mind, Bunny went for double port.
Yeah.
But this is like the standard, you know.
Is that fire in those chambers?
Is it lava?
I think it's fire. Look at the way it's moving up.
Doesn't look very safe.
Huh.
So the Hellions are going to come in here. And Maru looking to just try to pick off this queen here. Bounces it back up.
It is double factory follow-up, by the way. So we are going to be going to mech for Maru, following those BCs, which is the most standard way to go about it.
Right.
We don't see, like, oh, no, he did go double evolution chamber. So his idea here seems to be just Ling Bane. But generally, people don't like Ling Bane against BC into mech.
Yeah.
It's kind of tricky to play, but some people think it can be played, and we've seen it played occasionally well against it.
Yeah. This is one of the less common routes we see Terrence take here. But there really is such a different range of types of BC play that you can have.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be like everybody was doing the same build. People really figured out a lot of different ways to approach this.
Mm-hmm.
So he kills off 5 drones.
I'm really interested to see if he stays on Ling here. And why he's only getting melee? He must have misclicked or something.
I'm sure he yeah.
Like, Carapace.
That's just getting melee is not really a thing. You need to have both the upgrades.
Yeah, not in this matchup. In this matchup,
you know, I'm a little bit worried, man. Like, melee's almost halfway done and he hasn't gotten it with Carapace.
Yeah.
And that means like all of his upgrades are going to be staggered, and like you know, Maru is not going to miss an upgrade timing ever.
Oh, he just started his second Evo, so
oh weird.
That means he actually meant to do this. That's interesting. I'm trying to, like, maybe he has some sort of idea about Ling Baneling counterattacks specifically.
Yeah.
I don't know. But whatever the idea was, it was probably not based on playing against BC into mech. So, yeah, I guess we'll have to wait till another time to see exactly what Armani had as an idea here.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of value out of these Hellions, by the way. Yeah, forcing that hatch to cancel. You're not normally worried about your hatch getting canceled by Hellbats, you know what I mean? But the fact that he did that and then got away and he's still doing damage, that's pretty crazy. Yeah. As expected, the battlecruiser comes back home. He's going to repair that back up and then send it back out for more.
A lot of turrets being made, so that's quite good, since he does have those mutas coming in. Look at where Maru is burrowing those mines, my god. We have that Yamato on the way. The Hellbat's going to be able to torch this hatch down. Are we going to get the cancel there? Oh, can the Bane save it?
Oh my god!
What was that?
Oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. That's you've unlocked a new phrase for me that I never had in there.
Oh boy. Oof! Very good hit.
This is a game where we've had multiple canceled hatcheries with Hellbats. I feel like we've actually now seen it all in StarCraft 2.
And he's getting +2 melee very, very quickly.
You would think for as long as we've casted, we have to eventually encounter every possible situation in StarCraft.
Yeah, it's the game never runs out. StarCraft 1 or 2. I mean, stuff just keeps getting new all the time.
Well, I'm a little bit worried here because Maru is, you know, continuing to streamline his build over here, where there's been a lot of bumps in the road here for Armani. The mutas are out, and the battle cruisers are going to be en route here, trying to take a fight with these queens.
Yeah, it looks like, well, I mean, he probably has his jumps ready, right? The Yamato is almost ready. A little bit unfortunate that it's not quite yet.
Yeah, nice control there by Armani, pulling away the mutas.
Ooh, yeah,
yeah,
nice
that was actually pretty sick.
as well. Maru, though, with that amazing right-click away micro. Forcing all that micro. It's true, man. Moving shot is the dumbest thing in the whole world.
Battlecruiser, perhaps the easiest thing to micro in the whole game.
And Phoenixes want a word with you. Nah, Phoenixes are harder. Now, Swarm hosts are actually coming out, which is neat because we haven't seen as much against mech the Swarm hosts in the last year. It hasn't been as popular as a counter. It was like kind of the big counter against mech for quite some time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very interesting to see. I'm glad to see this out of Armani because I want to see something a little bit fresher than, you know, maybe dying to the first push or maybe barely holding it with Vipers, you know.
Well, he kills off 12 more drones. And again, these are all little holes he's poking into Armani that may sink him in the long run.
Yeah, looks like the Muta's coming back to fight once again.
All
doesn't do the right-click away micro this time.
Yeah,
it doesn't need it.
Maru looked at those mutas and went, no, I win this.
Yeah.
I'll jump one of these, then I'll go back to making stuff. Armani figured it out in real time. He's like, oh, this isn't enough.
Yeah.
You know, this would have been the moment that maybe Armani could have really won back some of those losses, but all the SCVs get away. He only destroys the depots.
Where are our Swarm hosts?
I don't know.
Like, there's like 11 Swarm hosts on the map, but I haven't...
There they
are.
Hell muffins.
Well,
go.
Hell muffins, that's right. I forgot about that. That's how long it's been.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy.
Cupcakes of Doom, man. And he's going to save every single battlecruiser, repair it, of course, and then go right back to it. Now, it does take a little bit more time to kind of build stuff up here with mech, but I am looking forward to what exactly, or when exactly, I should say, this push comes out. And I guess it might actually be now.
Look at the amount of Ling Bane being made. Neural is on the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a lot of Ling Bane. This is going to be very interesting for Armani. His composition is such... It's not exactly glass cannon, it's something else. It's like, his composition is something that could literally never fight heads up. It's Ling Bane Muta Swarm Host.
Yeah.
He's got about 12 hit points between these units. Like, it is, you know, it's not... It's just a very strange set of units to kind of see together.
Oh my god.
Take a real fight.
Birdlord, excuse me, just completely catching that. suddenly
the
decide there's
Stormhost-
Brood Lords in this game. Like, what am I talking about?
Well, I mean, those things didn't jump down from the sky to attack, so I get you, Tasteless. Broodlords walk now. It's the newest patch. Did you read the patch notes?
Well, I mean, Maru's still confident he can try to push through here. He's slowly cleaning up the creep. The next step is going to be actually hitting these bases.
Yeah, it comes in. What a funny compositions, because it's like Thor, BC, Hellion.
Yeah.
Against Swarmhost, Mutaling, Bane.
You've never quite casted a game like this.
No, it's a weird one.
I don't know if he can get in anywhere, though. The way this map is set up, it does seem like you could pretty much sit back on 5 bases. It's pretty hard to actually reach anywhere.
Yeah. It's a hard area to enter up these ramps.
Corruptors.
Oh, down goes one. Oh, up. All right, saves the rest. Gotta pop the cleans out of there.
Clean that up. Creep is going to dissipate. He'll finally be able to put his command center down there. Speaking of command centers, there's actually a base about to be taken in the bottom right.
Is there, though?
Yeah, it's right where the swarm hosts are. Oh, I don't think he realizes he's about to walk into this.
Well, here come the Baneling Stasis. He's going to try to have a Nest-Key moment here.
Yeah. And
does he have it?
Well, kind of, sort of. Look, he's just walking through the Banes.
So, this is...
This is a weird game, man. I don't even get it. What was that?
I feel like I'm watching two players learn what units kill what units right now, you know what I mean? Where it's two friends telling each other, like, yeah, no, just make a bunch of this, I'll make a bunch of this, and we'll just have it fight. Don't try to hurt each other's economy, just do that.
Yeah. Here we go. Now the Lings are going to come in here and clean up these Thors. Not sure how cost efficient that was to have all those Banes attack those Thors.
Yeah, I would dare to say cost inefficient.
I think there's a unit that's actually better in that moment. That's the Zergling Orthos.
It might be.
Yeah.
But, you know, when they're super clumped up, Nesty did teach us 12 years ago that you can kill Thors with Banelings.
Yes.
All right, we've got a Raven out here now. Maru's going to experiment with that and what that does.
Another base being taken here. Although Maru has not made a dent here in Armani really at all, other than killing creep, I guess, if you could even call that a big play. Keep in mind that Maru is also really not being interrupted at all economically. I mean, maybe that'll change with these, you know.
That is true, and he actually has more workers than Armani, which is kind of weird to see. I'm so used to watching Rogue.
And he does seem to have that magic number,
go.
where you can just target down command centers. And hey, man, that's actually a great way to play, to just be able to kill a command center and not lose anything.
Dude, yeah, Stormhost on the long term making moves like that, that's like an extra base, you know?
Yeah.
They just gather value for you everywhere.
Right.
You have some ghosts joining the fray. A lot of creep tumors here.
Oh my god, that was a painful death.
Yeah. Nidus worms are not happy when they die.
Turn into magma, man.
They turn into magma.
Yeah.
That has to be a terrible way to go.
That's not one of the ways I want to die.
Would you turn into magma when you die?
Yeah.
If someone offered you, they're like, we can just do
one
this
final GG and I just burst into flames.
Just melt into nothingness.
All right, another attack in
and look,
here.
If the game stays really slow, stuff like that becomes very valuable over time.
That's the thing.
But I don't think we're in a game that's that stalemated, even though we're seeing moves like that occasionally.
I don't think things have slowed down on the Terran side enough where we can just expect him to slowly chip away with Swarm Hosts. Like waves on a rock, slowly smoothing the rock over, you know, as time passes. Meanwhile, another push comes in here, and you know, one of the problems that Zerg has is that edge that he gets where he's got those 5 bases and it's kind of hard to push up there. They're all on high ground and pretty safe.
Yeah.
Everything after that is hard to get.
Oh my gosh.
And it really is, you know, Maru kind of the boss on the map here. So
yeah,
I mean,
holding that middle ground, like that ridge.
Yeah, I mean, it's
just look down upon those little gutter bases.
Gutter bases, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is like he can kind of just control this low ground area, and eventually Zerg runs out of money. And Terran is literally going to outgrow him. Look at the top left. There's a command center, two command centers over there. He is going to go to the bottom right.
No, he's still trying to utilize these swarm hosts. I love that, the armor shred on the Locust.
Oh, he's going to save it. Oh my God. That's crazy.
Damn. That is crazy. That was like so close to death. If he hadn't armor shredded those locusts that I was laughing about, that would have died. Wow. Okay. I like that he has all these infestors out. I mean, his composition remains this really weird, very soft, very technical composition. But Fungal and Neural definitely have some places in here.
Nuke's coming here as well.
I feel like
Maru is like this Michelin star chef, and this is like an experimental dish he's made. He's like, I made kimchi pasta or something. He's like, we're gonna try it. It's like, it's pretty good. It's not as good as his other stuff. But like, he is a culinary genius, and he does need to try these things out.
Okay, well, if he's a Michelin star chef, Tasteless, I don't think he's that type. I think he's like Gordon Ramsay type, where he's like, you took this space, idiot! And he kills it.
He might not be like a chef. It might be one of these things where it's like, he's the guy that makes the new fast food. He's like, we're going to make a chicken sandwich. It's actually like, you know, it's the chicken is the buns, and then there's like a burger in the middle. And it's oh, this is gross, but
it's
I'll probably,
disgusting.
Yeah, I'll probably eat this if it's 2 a.m. and I'm drunk.
Ronald McMaru over here.
Ronald McMaru.
God. They don't call him the Burger
He's like,
King
I made a taco, only it's not a tortilla, it's waffle. It's wrapped in it. It's one of those things.
Oh, disgusting.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, here we go. We come for your command center.
He is literally sniping Locust, Tasteless.
Yeah. It's the thing is, it's actually making every time that these.
Dude, he's actually the command center killer, though. You try to save these as Maru, but you can't save them all.
But again, guys, I mean,
oh, look at that! Ignitus is there.
Oh, that's so funny.
Floater command center there. LOL.
All right, but Maru's going to come up here, and he might have two possible targets, either 12 o'clock or just to the right of that previous screenshot. Well, how many more minerals does Armani actually have? Because I know these bases have to dry up eventually, right?
Yeah, I guess you are right about that. He's not mining that much. Like, he's making a valiant effort killing bases. He actually has a good bank. He has a better bank than Maru. More Ravagers? Okay. Dude, it is a wildly weird game. I am digging it, though. It's just so different. I feel like this game is very much like modern art, where I don't quite get it, but I want to say I like it so that you like me and think I'm cool and smart.
You want to say you understand it?
Yeah. Like, don't you see what Armani's trying to say here? That you don't need a real army.
It says a lot about it. Yeah, it's like he has everything except for Marines, really. The core unit. I think we're in the twilight of this game now, by the way. I don't think there's much left.
Really?
Yeah, I think this is going to be close to over, man.
It's funny because Armani's still maxed and still has a big bank, but I know what you mean.
But if to the right of where this fight is, if he loses that base, he actually doesn't have anything that he can mine from.
But do you need to mine from things when you have swarm hosts?
That's a good point.
Look at these ghosts.
Yeah, I mean, there's not even... This base here, I'm sorry, this has less minerals than I even have realized.
There's no gas left for Armani as well. So he's making 30 mutas right now. Oh, God. He's actually killed all the Thors but one.
Yeah.
Could 30 mutas change this game? He's actually got +3 attack and +1 carapace.
Well, the problem is he might be able to kill this army off, but I don't.
But if he kills the army off and makes a beeline for the bases?
There's too many bases.
But mutas can fly,
what if the Terran is the Zerg, Artosis?
What if the Terran is the Zerg? Or what if the Zerg is the Terran?
Oh my God.
Okay, he can't even kill the Thors. Oh, that's unfortunate. That was 30 mutas once upon a time, Tasteless. And now the ghosts are just killing him. Look at him dance those ghosts. Oh, but the swarm hosts come in. There you go. You did it.
All right. He has managed to keep, you know, that lower bottom right base alive. That's the only place he's really mining from. Zerg did take the top left. Although, you know, the creep is in the sensor towers. That's how close they are to each other. So no doubt Maru's going to go up there in a little bit. The supply is plummeted right now for Armani.
I wish Armani had 3 more bases right now. This would be so cool.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, like, he barely survives that, but he has no follow-up.
I love how they have like 7,000 minerals, 4,000 gas. He's maxed out. You're like, ah, he's dead. This is over. And I don't want to believe it, but it is true, unfortunately.
He's going to outrun this. Look. GG.
Those poor locusts.
All right.
We need creep in the sky. What do you think about that?
We need air creep so that we can't even see the game. Like,
yeah. It's like, well, they say that creep gives too much vision, but what if it took it away?
I mean, Maru, again, experimental chef. He basically, like, he's like, what if I make a sandwich, but instead of bread, I have 2 donuts as the bread.
Then Armani over here, he was a little bit of a hipster chef. He, like, used all the parts of the animal that no one uses, Tasteless.
Yeah.
He just fed Maru a bunch of gallbladders.
He brought it out on a cutting board.
Yeah, for sure. He wrote with chalk on a blackboard what he was serving. Like, damn, man. Like, can I have a no? You have what's here.
We only
Liver is good for you.
We only have triple hop IPAs. We're gonna go to the next game, and dare I say, maybe the last game, unless Armani could really turn this around.
Game starts.
Dog map.
Team NV.
Dog
Maru.
map.
This is officially the dog map.
Get
now.
your kennels ready.
Get your dog food ready.
Get your leashes ready. We're going for a walk on the dog map.
Guangdong Freaks.
You can have your dog
Armani.
unleashed on this map. What kind of dog is that?
Looks like a good boy to me.
Yeah. He's not worried at all about the Zerg.
Oh, why would he? He's a good boy.
I feel like if he was a good boy dog, he'd be barking at the Zerg. He would know something's wrong.
You think all
This
Zergs
is like
are
the
bad?
dog that, like, if your house gets burglarized, like the dog literally comes up and wants to be pet by the burglar while he's like stealing your TV.
So Zerg are evil. Okay,
No,
I got you.
yeah.
I got you.
Now this is the human's dog.
Looks like he's on lookout. He's
Yeah,
watching for a drone
He's protecting.
coming in.
He's like, I'll keep you guys safe until Marines are here.
Oh, that's more or less true.
Yeah.
So it is a pool first from Armani.
Right.
See what he does with it. Reaper coming out. Is this going to be one of those little Ling runarounds where you try to cancel the CC or something?
I mean, it could be. You know, I do feel like after game 1 and game 2, your spirit's probably a little bit broken. You're probably looking for anything that could possibly get a win here. SCV inbound, moving across the map.
Yeah, Overlord just kind of watching for anything coming. SCV trying to sneak by. Sees the timing of the hatchery and knows pool first.
I gotta tell you something, man. This is like so funny. I was in a PC cafe a couple days ago, and there happened to be this other guy in the PC cafe who, like, was speaking English, and he was with his girlfriend. And this guy, I saw this happen, could not figure out. Well, let me go back for 1 second. Have you seen this where, like, you're trying to log in somewhere and it wants to confirm that you're not a bot, and so you have to, like, click on like the animal being upright.
Captchas.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And so it was the animal capture where it's like, okay, it's like the horse standing up. When one of in one of these pictures, it's standing up in the right thing, and the other one's it's like upside down. This guy couldn't figure it out. I literally saw this happen, and he was saying to his girlfriend, he can't figure it out, and it's like, there's no way it's broken. I'm like watching him, and he's literally like, I couldn't even believe it, dude.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I almost went up and said something, and I didn't. I just kind of like stayed back and like kept looking at the screen. I'm like, this can't be,
bro out, man.
Can't be serious. Like, how are you even able to be in a foreign country right now? Like, you can't figure this out. This is like.
Now, this is the most important follow-up question to a story that has ever been asked.
Yeah.
Once he finally got in, what game did he play?
I didn't actually see it was when I was leaving.
Oh, tasteless. I would have stayed there for 1,000 years to see what his game of choice is.
By the way, the link's gonna force that CC up. Sorry, I had to just share that.
No, I don't care about anything else
believe
other
it.
than this
like,
guy.
I actually watched because I wasn't the only person that could. He was like talking loud. He's like, "No, there's no way to get it. It doesn't work. I can't." And like, some other guy came by and helped him, and that's when I left. I'm like, all right.
Damn. Tasteless.
I was standing.
I would give anything to know what game he played.
Yeah, that's a good question. We could have figured out.
Is this guy
what?
Fortnite gamer?
Yeah, it would be bad for any game.
For any game.
It actually could kill that game if I found out what game it is. Like, people would be fleeing that game. Yeah.
God.
All right, so now Maru's going to be back out on the map with his medevac. And, I mean, that was a little victory there for Armani, but I think Maru handled it pretty well.
Yeah. Well, this medevac coming in. See if he can hold this off easily. He has a lot of lings in his main, so should be fine. He has double Evo. So we'll see. I mean, I think it's going to be melee. I'd be pretty surprised if he goes into a Roach Ravager game here.
Yeah, it's not going to be able to do much with this. But, you know, keep in mind in this game, guys, Maru's kind of switched back into bio. He's gone back to his roots.
Yeah. Melee and Carapace here for Armani. We'll see if he just sticks to Ling Bane. Or if he wants to add in either Hydras or Mutas. That medevac's still kind of patrolling around. Not sure it's going to really find any damage.
Yeah,
honestly.
I think if he could find a fourth hatch or something, maybe there'd be a fight worth having, but there's really nothing that's off creep that he can actually engage with.
He might be looking for an opportunity to get the mine to go off somewhere, but I mean, there's not a whole lot here. Oh, Armani doing much better now against the static unit.
Stim's almost done, which is where we might actually see some more action. I like the little Widow Mine there. That's cute.
Yeah, catch that first drum that comes down.
Just delay that fourth base from starting up.
Yeah, that's almost always worthwhile. Like, even if you were to lose it, it's like an important thing to realize that if you delay something by like 30 seconds, that's a huge difference.
So yeah, it's a bit of a waiting game from here on out. Zerg playing pretty conservatively. We're seeing the rest of the tech get filled in with that Baneling's Nest coming. As the layer finishes, no doubt he'll be getting a... No doubt he'll be getting a Spire here as well. But yeah, good catch. I mean, basically controlling these two sides. You know, there's not a ton of places to expand for the Zerg, really, if you look at this. This map is, like, ringed with bases. But, yeah, if you have these two areas under control, you can delay that base. And so finally the fourth base starts here for the Zerg, just as Terran gets the command center at his third.
Well, at least his upgrades are really well on time. Brings these Banes over. Unfortunately for him, Maru did not send his SCVs on time.
Yeah, this is kind of, it's like
it's
somehow
always funny when
it's
that
bad,
happens.
but that makes it good somehow.
Yeah. He had the right timing down to send the Banes in, just Maru didn't have the right timing for sending his SCVs, I guess. All right, forces a cancel here. Very nicely done.
Yeah.
Now how Speedlings get in
He'll
here.
lose the tank, but he'll keep this infantry alive.
Yeah.
And pretty nice engage, to be honest here from Maru. He's really killing it here. Can he actually get this extra queen?
Yeah, and he's going to kill a bunch of creep here as well. Oh, that's rough, man. That's Maru's just gains value all over.
Well, this is the thing, is he's so impeccable with his control.
Yeah.
And I like that he's not just, you know, rallying everything automatically. He's realized that, you know, one of the only ways that he could get in trouble here is if Lings were to catch the reinforcements on the way. So he's patiently staying back here with whatever else he has. And he's going to wait to reunite everything and then really start pushing. And I think that push is going to be coming over here at the 3 o'clock spot on that 4th base.
Well, Maru coming down right now. This small push, meeting up with the medevacs. See what he can get done. I like the 2 Hellbats over on the side here. Make it very annoying for Lynx to get in. A lot of damage on that hatch. You've got to go now.
Yeah,
well,
is he going to get there in time? I mean, the bottom fight's going okay here. That tank just barely is picked off. And I got to say, you know, props to Armani. He did it, and he's taking a 5th base here at the bottom.
He did hold on to there, but that it wasn't all that clean. It was just like slightly off, and you can really still see the difference between like when Rogue or Dark or someone like that clears something like that, where he almost killed the tank with the Lings, but he didn't quite, and then he had to hit it with like 4 Banes to finish it.
Right.
And it's like, oh, that is a big difference, you know?
Okay, and again, this hatchery's very low, so he might try to come in here and finish what he started. The Banes get close, but he picks them up before a single Bane can connect with a Marine. Meanwhile, down here at the bottom, same idea. Another push coming over here, this time off creep, though. And, you know, this is Maru for you. Never miss clicking. Just snipes each Baneling. Controls perfectly, relocates. Meanwhile, there's actually an attack up at the top. We're not following it, but there's another. Did he kill all the Marines? No, he picked him up and got out.
Hive is on the way. 2 siege tanks at a time, though, here for Maru. And that additional command center ready. And Hydras are being joined in now. But, you know, the 2 factory siege tank, for a very long time, was considered a counter to this Sling Bane Hydra type of play.
Yeah.
And obviously he'll be going into lurkers. I'd be really surprised if there were anything else.
He would have to develop in that direction, I think.
Yeah, but Maru already has a 2 factory siege tank, which is, you know, basically where you want to go.
He basically has the answer already.
Yeah, everything looking pretty clean for Maru here.
Now Armani is staying alive here. The thing is, we got to watch this base at 3 o'clock because, I mean, if this isn't protected, this could be killed in a second here.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to get target down no matter what.
He just kites over there, picks up. He's willing to sack the tanks to take that out. And that means that we see Armani drop down to 4 bases again.
Yeah.
That 5th one was just now finishing, so he'll swap the drones over to that area. But we got to see how the next set of sequences, you know, kind of pan out here for Maru, because this is really where he starts to get the ball rolling.
Going to continue these drops. Looks like he just flies past towards the main base. Not sure exactly what's up here for defense. Not very much, it looks like. Does have creep spread to the edge, which is kind of a nice touch.
Yeah.
A lot of people neglect getting creep in the main.
So the next push is coming here. Oh, I'm sorry, were there 2 tanks there? Was that it?
I didn't notice.
Yeah, so he's going to come in here again. Now he has a drop that's going through the main, although I don't know where the destination is going to be. And then he has another attack coming up here at that 3 o'clock spot we saw earlier. And he's kind of throwing a bunch of stuff out there at once and seeing what sticks. So he's going to get the denial on this base up here. Meanwhile, down at this bottom base, hatchery a little bit above half health here. A big amount of range here with these tanks. Beautiful blinding cloud, though. The Banes come in, harpooning one of the medevacs and the other. But again, he's keeping him on 4 bases. And, you know, when Terran does this, if they keep the Zerg even on bases with him, the Zerg is in fact behind. So, you know, if he can keep this up, this will probably be the last game in the series with Armani losing.
Yeah, it definitely does look that way. But maybe it's a bit healthier than the other lurker game that we saw him get into on game 1.
I think this is the best, out of all 3 games, this is the best Armani's played, to be totally honest.
Yeah, I kind of liked that last game because it was interesting, but here, and remember, the lurker push he did was pretty strong in game 1, despite the fact that he had taken a ton of damage and everything throughout the game. And sure, he's taken damage here, but I think it is a slightly healthier position, so maybe he'll have a bit more play as he gets into lurker.
Uh-oh. Oh, boy. He's coming up. Oh, my God! Okay, the siege tank's really doing work. They're not a medevac in sight here.
I know.
But
any Banelings connecting there is just death.
Dude, Maru's so insanely good.
Yeah, he's
Some of these engages are like, he's like, I'll just pick off exactly every Bane and then pick up and leave.
I used to think I'd like to win a GSL, but then I see how good Maru is to have to do. I'm like, Look at this is ridiculous. Another dog.
Yeah, I just started to notice that there's more dogs than just the starting location dogs. Look, this dog's getting pulled in with the Zerglings. So the Lurkers are going to come up here. Pretty nice wall actually set up there. Not able to get to where the SCVs are.
It looks like he's going to go after that planetary. Let's see if he can actually get it. Now, this is a signature Armani move. This is like exactly what he likes to do.
Okay, so he uses the Banes and the Lurkers.
Yeah, and a Blinding Cloud. And look at this, a Link counterattack in the meantime.
Things are actually looking pretty good here for Armani. The infantry comes down, though, starts to fight these Lurkers.
And he will end up clearing that all out. Those Zerglings that came in for support a little bit too late. The Lynx that killed off all the SCVs at that other base do run in here and pick off like a tank and a sensor tower and stuff, but don't do all that much. Both players dropping down in supply quite a bit. Armani, though, does get his 5th base up again, and he does have that very healthy 84 drones. So let's see if he can produce back into an army that can push this off his creep.
So the push is going to come in here now. Now, what does Zerg actually have? So we saw some counterattacks that did some damage, but is he able to muster up an army with the complexity to try to take this on? Again, the siege tanks are in a very good spot right now. Really far away. Lots of Banelings can be picked off in this process.
Oh, some good Blinding Clouds come down for sure.
Yeah, actually pretty crazy Blinding Clouds there. And the question is, does he have just enough to try to push through? The Hydras are starting to thin out. The Queens are starting to pull away. The Lings, and a bad rally are mowed down.
Yeah, those snipes pretty massive there.
This hatchery has about 1/4 of its hit points left, so it could be popped like a balloon here, and that goes down.
Yeah, and that is rough. We see disaster on the horizon here for Armani.
Look at the drones here as well. If he can't get these drones out, he's actually trying to use them with the Lings to hopefully overcome this.
Yeah, the Lings coming up and fighting as best they can.
There's too much. I think that's actually the end. Yep, there it is. GG. Maru takes game 3.
And will win the series 3-0, going to the round of 8 of Super Tournament. No big surprise to anyone.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of expected this.
Armani did all right. He put out a couple of good games in there, I think.
I think he put up a good fight, but, you know, I mean, this was not exactly, you know, coming in here today, the newsworthy match.
No, certainly.
You know,
it's as tough a match for Armani as anything could be. I think, again, that's probably his weak matchup in a lot of ways. So, yeah, Maru, of course, takes it as expected. And Armani, we got to wait till GSL Season 1. Code S to see him again.
And so we're going to have an interview here with Maru. Let's see how he's feeling. He is going to the round of 8.
Despite Armani putting up a great fight, it is Maru who defeats him, and he moves on to the round of 8. Congratulations, Maru. Thank you. Today in the morning, you did win your dream hack Masters today, and then you win the GSL as well, Super Tournament as well. So how do you feel? You know, I was not confident today before the games, but I'm lucky to have won. I'm not confident in the Zerg matchup. All right, let's talk about that later. All right, let's go through the games. In Berlin Grounds, the last one, the Zerg was very fearsome in that game, but you managed to win. So what was that about? You know, I thought that if the big wave from him, if I blocked that, I would just win the game easily. And the Zerg was going for the ambassadors, he was going to mutas, he was going for the brawlers as well, but he was not able to break through defense. I knew that as long as I have ghosts on my army, I can beat him. And that worked really well. And Maru, you did show your composition with Ghost, and then it worked really well. And had Armani gone for Brawlers and Infestors and Corruptors, would the game have been different?
테란이 이길 것 같아요.
No, even if he did, I think
조성주
the
선수여서
Terran would have
이기는
won.
건 아니에요?
Are you saying that because you're Maru?
그건 잘 모르겠는데.
I'm not really sure about that.
메카닉 하는 걸 많이 못 봐가지고.
I haven't seen other Terran players going for
많이
mechanic that
보고
much, but I do want to
자,
see
이렇게
more of that
오늘
in the
경기
future.
이렇게 메카닉으로도 아주 멋진 경기를
And Maru, you did gain
보여주셨고
your victory
또
today with the
바로
mechanic.
오늘 새벽이었죠. 라스트 찬스에서도
And today in the
압도적인
morning,
패배전 경기를
You showed
보여주셨는데요.
great performance,
패배전
an
타임과
overwhelming
김도욱
victory
선수를
in the
내리
TVT.
잡고 이기셨잖아요. 인터뷰에서 테란전 움직임 싸움이 중요하다.
In the
이런
interview,
말씀을 하시기도
you mentioned
했는데
that
이 테란
maneuvering
중에서
in
조성주
TVT is
선수가
really
좀
important.
견제될 만한 선수는 이제 없는 걸까요?
So are you saying that you're not wary of any other players now?
일단 솔직히 동원이 형 말고는 없는 것 같아요.
김동원 선수 거의 정신적인
Well, are you saying that
아닌가 이런
you're not
생각도
afraid of any
드는데
other
그
player except
정도로
Ryung?
조성주 선수에게
That's right.
중요한 선수인 건가요?
So Ryung is a great mentor for you, right,
너무
Maru?
많이 해가지고 이제
I mean,
동원이
Ryung
형 만나는
studies
게
so well
아무래도
about the game,
꺼려지긴 하는데
and you know, meeting him in the tournament is really difficult to deal with.
빌드도 잘 떠오르고.
When I have a conversation with Ryung,
항상
I tend
인터뷰
to
때마다
think of
언급을
better
하시고 이
better
정도
builds
되면
and better
정말
compositions.
김동원 선수와의 경기가 꼭 성사가 됐으면 좋겠습니다.
We really hope to see you
자, 아까
playing against Ryung as
말씀하신
well.
저그전 이야기를 해볼게요.
Let's talk about
이 저그전이
TVZ.
문제다, 이게 어렵다 이야기를 하시는데
And Maru, you always
사실
mentioned
작년
that
말에
TVZ
해외
is
대회
really hard and
활약하실
difficult to
때도
deal with.
국내외 저그 4대장들을 다 잡으면서
But
또
you've
활약을
always
하시고
been
있잖아요.
good at playing against
이렇게
Zergs.
우승을 하기도 했는데 저그전이 좀 왜 문제인가요?
So why do you keep whining about the TVZ matchup?
솔직히 저는 맵이 지금 저거한테 좋다고 생각하기
Well, I feel like the maps
그래서
are
어려운 것 같은데.
favored towards Zergs,
그래도
and that's why.
하다 보니까 적응이 되는 것
But you know,
같기도 하고
as I continue
그래서
to
어려운
play, it
결국
feels like I'm
어려움은
adapting
없는
to the
걸로 이야기가
adapting to the
정리가
change.
되는데요.
But at the same time, I feel like I'm not
한편으로는
adapting to the stage.
아쉽다는 좀 표현이 있습니다. 조성주 선수 정말 잘하시긴 하지만
So Maru, although you're very good,
준우승이 꽤 있었다.
you've had
또
some
GSL
runner-ups
우승이
in the past,
없었다. 좀 이런 아쉬움의 표현이
and
있는데
you've had
올 한 해는
very
어떻게
few
보내고
GSL
싶으세요?
victories in the past. So
일단
what do you think about that?
월드 챔피언십이 이제 열리니까
Well, the World
무조건
Championship will be
그거 우승하고 싶긴 한데
held very soon, and I want to win that
저는
tournament.
저그가 우승할 것 같거든.
But at the same time,
그래서
I think Zerg is going to take the win.
앞으로 저그전 좀 많이 다듬어야 될 것 같아요.
So I think I'm going to have to
그렇군요.
enhance my
어쨌든
TVZ
2022년
matchup
아주
strategy.
좋은 출발을 알리고 있는 조성주 선수인데요.
Well, this year you're off to a great start, Maru.
해주시죠.
So before you go, anything you want to say to your fans?
오늘도 그렇고 항상 응원해 주시는
Like yesterday and today, I'm ever grateful to my fans for cheering for me,
감사합니다.
and that's all I have to say today.
알겠습니다. 8강 진출 축하드립니다.
Right, congratulations, Maru. Thank you.
자,
Thank you,
이렇게
Andy.
세 번째 8강
well,
진출자
Maru 3-0.
조성주 선수
Yeah,
만나봤습니다.
looking
Easy
just
peasy.
fantastic lately, man. He cannot be stopped.
And guys, we have one more match actually coming up here. It's going to be Hero versus Trap after the short break. We'll be right back.